In the headlines, the country's first CBI-funded hotel project ahead of schedule. Dominica explores further strategies towards climate resilience, and IRC encourages generation of electricity through alternative sources on a large scale. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. First up, the development of the 160-room Cabarets Resort Kempinski Hotel at Douglas Bay is making rapid progress. Prime Minister Skerritt led a delegation to the project at Portsmouth on Wednesday, fresh from his trip from Greece. From all reports, the project is ahead of schedule since the Cabinet's last mission to the site in October, and Mr. Skerritt says he is pleased with the quality of work.
With the first project which we signed under the investment arm of the Citizenship Investment Program, we are seeing before our very eyes in our country the manifestation of those agreements in a practical and tangible manner. So when there are people who are questioning where the resources come, where the money is being spent, we're not seeing anything. The people who are pretending to be blind, really, and pretending not to believe in the country, not having access to those areas. Because I know, for example, there are opposition parliamentarians who have drive past to see what's happening and so forth. So they have been able to see for themselves what's happening. And it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for us in Dominica, because no matter what happens, once this hotel is constructed, it cannot be relocated to any other part of the world.
The Prime Minister anticipates the hotel will start welcoming guests in 2018.
But also it will certainly assist in the international positive promotion of Dominica, because very soon, even before it is completed, the Kempinski group of companies will certainly start putting Dominica on their marketing program and indicating to the world when this hotel will become operational and when they will start taking the first booking for this hotel. So the farmers, the fishermen, the taxi operators, everybody is gonna benefit from this.
Dominica is taking steps to develop strategies for adaptation to strengthen its resilience to the effects of climate change. This as the country hosts a high-level climate change conference under the theme Rethinking Development Options for Building Resilience for Prosperity in Small States. Minister of Foreign Affairs Francine Barron pointed out that the issue of climate change is among top agenda items of the international community, and small island states must chart a way forward for their survival.
The resilience approach seeks to answer the question, what should we do in terms of policy, programs and practices in order to reduce the exposure of our families, our communities, and ultimately our country to risks and threats already being experienced, as well as those that will only become apparent in the future. This resilience approach demands that our decisions be data-driven and informed by consideration of scenarios that are long-term. Over the previous 2 days, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has had insightful, candid, and informative discussions with other line ministries. All of our heads of our overseas missions participated in those discussions and are here with us today.
Barron says this conference is timely as small island developing states continue to face challenges of a changing global environment. National Security Minister Rayburn Blackmore, who represented Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, described the impact of climate change as a national threat.
For 2017, the Labour Party administration has been able to execute its plan to build Dominica's climate resilience. For indeed, without that capacity, there will be no prosperity for everyone in this beautiful country. In this regard, therefore, prosperity requires a sustainable, peaceful, and secure environment. And without security, a country cannot prosper and progress. That is why we must view this national resilience and prosperity agenda as an integrated part of the national plan and development agenda for this beautiful country, Dominica. The threat that we face in Dominica today requires the full participation of the government, civil society, and our development partners.
The government of Kazakhstan also played a key role in the hosting of this conference through the provision of an institution support grant. In related news, advisor to the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Herbert Charles, says this three-day climate conference is in keeping with the Paris Agreement signed in 2016.
The concessions made by the developed world within the framework of the Paris Agreement constitute an important development. But how do we build capacity in SIDS and at the level of our foreign service representatives to continue the engagement with the international community and with other nations, with other organizations on this complex issue of climate change?
Ambassador Charles commended this three-day climate change conference being held in Dominica, which will hear contributions from diplomats, senior-level functionaries in international organizations, and university lecturers.
SIDS states must commit to persistent capacity development targeted at their overseas representatives as well as their senior managers and technicians at home. This climate change conference is an information sharing and capacity building activity that intends to answer several key questions, including the following. What are the resources pledged to small island developing states by the international community under the Paris Agreement? And how should these resources be accessed?
A panel discussion on climate change will be held at the Fort Young Hotel on Thursday from 7 p.m. Government has spent over $300 million over the past 10 years under its Housing Revolution program. The housing minister says so far, government has built some 320 new homes under the Housing Revolution program at no cost to the recipients.
The other component of the program was the home renovation and sanitation program. Now, sanitation was always part of the program, but we focused at the time more on home renovation, and so the sanitation part lagged a little bit behind. Like I told you, we had about 5,000 homes to repair. My last count told me that we've done over the last 10 years about 4,500 at a cost of some $26 million. This year alone, in this financial year, we're spending some $8.8 million on home renovation.
Phase 3 of the Silver Lake Housing Project, which falls under government's housing program, is being funded by the Citizenship by Investment program, has started. There is also a sanitation aspect to the program, which has seen $9 million being spent to eradicate pit latrines between 2013 and 2016.
$9 million! And we have done about 850 of those all around the country. And I'm seeing here that for this year, this is January 2017, we're looking at another $3 million. Next week, Kings Hill community will receive over $500,000 for the eradication of pit latrines in Kings Hill.
You are watching Channel 5 News, International Artists Night, to feature two popular artists who's been in a recent music feud. That and more when we return. Welcome back. Dominica's regulatory body for the electricity sector welcomes the generation of electricity through renewable technologies. The word from Executive Director of the Independent Regulatory Commission, Glenn Kahn, who spoke to Channel 5 News during a two-day workshop on power purchasing agreements, geothermal, and other renewable energy projects. A power purchase agreement or electricity power agreement is described as a contract between two parties, one which generates electricity, the seller, and one which is looking to purchase electricity, the buyer.
Well, that is one of the rules that has been placed in the Act for the IRC to do so. One of our rules is to encourage competition once it is efficient to do so. In encouraging competition, any new generation that will take place, we would suggest that renewable technologies should be used. So for instance, if 2 megawatts of energy is required in 2018 and we put out an RFP, we are going to say we want people to submit bids that have to do with renewable energy. So that's the way how we introduce that into the mix of the generation.
The USAID-funded workshop is being held in partnership with the IRC under the Caribbean Clean Energy Program, or CARCEP. Chairperson of the IRC, Bernadette Lambert, said the workshop is geared at better informing stakeholders on PPAs for renewable energy generation projects. Regulatory governance specialist Elizabeth Butler, a facilitator of the workshop, explained that workshop is an effort to make Dominica more energy independent.
This is the effort of the United States government to assist the Caribbean nations in achieving their respective energy independence goals. We understand how critical it is to the economic development of the region to lower electricity costs and make you independent in your energy resources to drive forward your economic growth. And we are delighted to be here on behalf of the United States taxpayers who have invested in this important project and the people of the Caribbean.
Other facilitators include Clean Energy Project Development Specialist Dwight DaCosta and former Director General of Jamaica's Office of Utility Regulations, Albert Gordon. The work program of an advocacy group on child protection accelerates on the heels of the passing of new legislation on sex crimes. Chairperson of the NGO Coalition for Protection of Children and Youth says they are motivated by the interest of the British High Commission and other overseas bodies.
Well, there's two reasons why we're meeting with all sorts of visitors from overseas. One of them is that people have heard that something is happening in Dominica. Dominica's made strides in its legislation, and they're wanting to hear how that happened in terms of how we visited the different communities and got the people's opinions and presented them, and how that affected the change in the law. And also they want to hear what next.
Amendments to the Sexual Offences Act of 1998 were made into law last October when the bill was presented for debate in Parliament and came up for second and third readings. Alexandra says her group not only hopes Dominica will have progressive laws against sex crimes, but wants to inspire a culture of protecting children.
And then we want to look at recovery, what resources we can get to help people recover from abuse, including the Peace Together program, which you know about already, which has started and is going well, and also the Levy Dominique initiative that's going on. And then finally we want to look at addressing the culture that accepts that it's okay for hardback men to have sexual relationships with schoolgirls. We really want to address that, but it's not something that's going to be changed overnight. We want girls to know that that doesn't have to be a way of life for them. One of the areas there is that we need to acknowledge that there are boy victims, and we need to work out how to help boys say what's happening to them too.
Government Minister Reginald Austrie says government remains blameless over a scandal related to the arrest of an Iranian businessman who once held a diplomatic passport from Dominica. However, Austrie has acknowledged that government should attempt to set right any mistakes related to the issuance of diplomatic passports. He addressed the matter while acting as Prime Minister at the contract signing for a Silver Lake housing project on Tuesday.
If I give a man do a due diligence 2 years ago or 1 year ago, and they say he clean, everything is okay, you can proceed. If the man falls short 1 year after, boss, why are you blaming me for that for? Because when I gave him the passport, he was clean. The record said that he was clean. The due diligence report said that he was clean. I cannot then tell the man, well, because you have my passport, you must do A, B, C. I cannot control your life from there on. And if you know, as soon as you find out, you withdraw the passport from him. So he gets arrested. It's no fault of yours. Actually, yes, we have concerns about that. But let us deal with it, like Ms. said, in a dispassionate, a truthful manner, and let's try to correct the wrongs. And if we made mistakes along the way, let us correct those. But you cannot use that as an issue to try to bring down a government.
Austria explained that the process to obtain a diplomatic passport is different from obtaining a passport under the country's citizenship by investment program.
But to put it simple, it's a program where you can become a citizen of Dominica if you are prepared to make a substantial investment in the country's economy. You can become a citizen. Now, there's a difference between the CBI and diplomatic passport. There's a big difference. The CBI is where you can invest in a viable project in the country, the hotels and so on that are coming to create employment and to keep activities going, while the diplomatic issue is one where you identify persons overseas, locally or foreign, who can assist you in making contacts, raising revenue, and helping to develop your country. People of high repute and high reputation.
He emphasized that there are foreign due diligence companies which Dominica relies on for advice that vet candidates before government issues diplomatic or economic citizenship passports to anyone. And two young artists are emerging from a feud to share the stage on International Artist Night, carded for Friday night at the Eddie Andre Carnival City in Portersville. Local bouillon artist Asa Banton Edwards and dancehall artist Colton T. Thomas engaged each other in a musical battle over the weekend, and social media users made their respective songs go viral. However, on Wednesday, consultant at the Dominica Festivals Committee, Val Coffey, said that in keeping with the promotion of love and peace at Carnival, Colton T. has been added to the lineup.
It's a high-intense activity. The show is going to really set the tone for the Carnival, of course, set the tone for our opening on Saturday. Also, we have included, because we are trying to get the artists as much as possible to get Dominica ready for peace and love. So we have added Colton T. To the lineup, because Colton T and Asa Banton has been doing their little thing via social media, and we felt that as a responsible Dominica Festivals Committee that we'll bring both of them on stage, and we will ensure that we have the peace and unity for our music. So Colton T will be dropping his lyrics, no profanity, no hostility, but just getting the music out there to show the fans out there that music is about love, even if we may disagree. So expect on Friday evening, besides you'll be having Ricardo Drew and his band, Davil, you'll be having Triple K, you will also be having Asa Banton and Colton T in a peace celebration of love for the bouillon music.
The event is expected to be headlined by Trinidadian soca artist Ricardo Drew and Jamaican reggae singer Davil. Also on the lineup is local bouillon band Triple K. That's news. Your sports highlights next. Jamaica bested ICC Americas by 28 runs in Wednesday's games of the 2017 Nagico Super 50. Jamaica took first knock and scored 254 for 5 in 46 overs. Campbell added 66 and Powell 52. In reply, ICC was bowled out for 187 in 44.3 overs. Meantime, Windward's Volcanoes suffered yet another loss in one of Tuesday's games in the Nagico Super 50. Kent beat Windwards by 4 wickets with 23 balls remaining. Volcanoes was sent into bat and scored 241 for 9. Top performances for the Volcanoes team in that match came from Sonal Ambrose 50, Kyle Mayers with 37 not out, Andre Fletcher 33, and Captain Liam Sebastian 32. A combination of Callum Haggett and Imran Kayum meant trouble for Volcanoes when they took 4 for 59 and 3 for 42 respectively. Set 242 to win, Kent replied with 242 for 6 in 46.1 overs. Sam Northeast piled on 49 and Adam Ball 40. On the football field, 3 exciting matches scheduled for Thursday in action from the Division 1 League. Dominica Football Association's Public Relations Officer Gerald George has details.
Andy Williams Spartans will battle Gawley Dream Team from 5:30 p.m. to be followed by St. Mary's Cooperative Credit Union Delton United at 7:30 p.m. And at the Dubla playing field, Buster Warner will take on Element Agencies LA Stars at 6 p.m.
Back with more cricket. Dominica State College defeated St. John's Academy by an innings and 4 runs in the only match played in the Massey Insurance Sports Division Under-20 Cricket Championships on Tuesday. DSC won the toss and sent SJA in to bat, where they scored 22 all out. Lee Louisi took 6 for 14 and Nathan Sebastian 3 for 4. In reply, DSC declared on 54 for 4. Dion Burton added 34. In the second innings, St. John's Academy was bowled out for 28. Siobhan Dorset picked up 5 for 3 and Lee Louisi 4 for 23. The competition continues on Thursday. In related sports, We can tell you that India won by 75 runs in the third T20 against England on Wednesday. India took first knock and made 202 for 6. Suresh Raina scored 63 while MS Dhoni chipped in with 56. Set 203 for victory, England answered with 127 all-out in 16.3 overs. Topping the batting for England were Joe Root 42, E. Morgan 40 and Jason Roy 32. Y. Chahal picked up an impressive 6 wickets to limit England's batting. India won the 3-match series 2-1. Next up, President of the Dominica Bodybuilders Association, Emmanuel Loblak, says despite delays in efforts to revamp the association, it worked out for the betterment of the athletes. His comments come ahead of a bodybuilding competition carded for April, geared towards improving the sport's popularity here.
The date carried was had to be this coming Saturday, but unfortunately we had to reschedule it because to give some of the bodybuilders more time to fine-tune their bodies. They have been concerned and that the time is just too short.
While the interest in terms of numbers is limited, it is the president's hope that they will increase over time.
I think so far the interest has been very good. I think the Mr. Fitness, Mr. Strongman, expecting to see a number of participants in these two categories. Mr. Flex, we're expecting around 4 to 5, maybe 6 bodybuilders. But as you said, we have reactivated this bodybuilding association and we're hoping that the sport will grow.
The competition has been rescheduled for April 29 at the Arawak House of Culture. Sports continues with this item where president of a local sporting association believes that fencing can gain more attraction here and see more people coming on board. His comments come ahead of a school's outreach program targeted at bringing awareness to the sport, among other plans for the year.
We're planning a school's outreach program around the Roseau area, just to get the awareness of the sport around certain schools that we have identified. There's also a 2018 Central American and Caribbean qualifying tournament. Of course, the 2018 CAC Games will be held in Colombia, but there's a qualifying tournament for fencing which will be held in Puerto Rico in April. The dates are not confirmed as yet, but hopefully we can send someone to that tournament.
The school's outreach program is carded for Convent High School on Friday at 8 a.m. Finally, in sports, a group of 30 players have been called to duty for potential selection to the football squad that will represent Dominica at the inter-school competition this year. Those selected include 10 from Dominica Grammar School, 8 from Dominica State College, 7 Isaiah Thomas Secondary, 3 each from the Goodwill, Portsmouth and the PHL Secondary Schools, and 1 from Northeast Comprehensive. Training is expected to take place every Tuesday at Lindo Park from 3 p.m. That's all the sporting highlights for now. Join us next time. And now for the weather forecast.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Annie Correct Joseph. The Atlantic high pressure system was the dominant feature across the region today, generating a brisk trade wind flow. Low-level clouds moving with this wind flow resulted in mostly cloudy skies across the Lesser Antilles today. Visible satellite imagery showed some low-level clouds over Dominica during the course of the day, resulting in mostly cloudy skies. Radar imagery indicated some scattered showers over the region today. Conditions for tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy with some scattered showers, some breezy conditions as well. Tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers and some breezy conditions can also be expected. Sea conditions, moderate in open water with waves up to 8 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers, you are advised to exercise some caution. Taking a look at the next 3 days, tomorrow Wednesday, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers, mainly during the afternoon. Weak unstable conditions can be expected over the area Wednesday into Thursday, resulting in mostly cloudy skies with some scattered showers on Thursday. On Friday, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a few scattered showers. Some breezy conditions can also be expected on Wednesday. A gradual reduction in wind speeds can be expected as the week progresses. Across the region tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers can be expected throughout. On the international scene, some snow can be expected in New York, partly cloudy skies in Miami, some rain in London, partly cloudy skies in Caracas, and clear skies in Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:35 a.m. and set at 6:04 p.m. For up-to-date information, log on to our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and join us next time. Good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. The country's first CBI-funded hotel project ahead of schedule. Dominica explores further strategies towards climate resilience, and IRC encourages generation of electricity through alternative sources on a large scale. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsFeb1st2k17. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Kenny Williams. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.